Yes, 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 yes. Back and live in the building. You know what it is. It's your boy Drizz, YM, Lord Smoke, Lord Poseidon, Young Messiah, young boy from the Grange, LS7, Steph, whatever you want to call him, yeah? And hey, just in case you want to know, I am solo this episode. It's been a long time since we've done a solo one, but we're doing a solo run again. So shout out to episode 113, yeah? Okay. Now my guy Will, he's a bit under the weather at the minute. You know what I mean? He's been dealing with a bad ear infection that's just not cleared up. That's why we missed last week as well. We missed last week because he's got like a really bad like ear infection type shit. He is starting to feel better. He's on the mend, but he's not quite there yet. And I didn't want to miss 2 weeks in a row. You know what I mean? So I thought, you know what, bro? It's been a long time. We're gonna do the solo pod again. Do you get what I mean? So I'm gonna play this music. We're gonna get right into some shit. And then we get right into some shit. Yeah? Alright.
Yeah! Woo! Hey, shout out to Secret Life of Will. Drizz OnlyMans podcast. Yeah. OnlyMans podcast. Man, this shit for real. Hey. Man, this shit for real. OnlyMans podcast. Say this shit for real. Yeah. Man, this shit for real. OnlyMans podcast, talking about some man shit. Ain't nobody playing around. These niggas like really nasty. Damn. My diamonds be dancing. Talking about investments, romance. Nasty. Yeah. Nasty. Yeah. No, he say bullshit. Whoa. Nasty. Yeah. Nasty. Yeah. Hey. Real man in demand.
Yes, it is me back again, and this is episode 113 of the OnlyMans podcast, yeah? Big up to all the people that tune in each and every week. Big up to all the people that subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. That's OnlyMans podcast. Sorry, the OnlyMans podcast on YouTube, yeah? Round of applause for that. So again, man, we're going to be here for a good time, not a long time. We're going to get into a few things and we'll see how it goes, innit? We'll see how it goes. I can't see myself being on this one for too long. But hey, listen, you know what? I listen to like quite a few podcasts and shit, innit? There are some pods, bro, that have like panels of man, bro. And I like these pods too. You know what I mean? There's some of these pods that I like, but they'll be like fucking 7, 8, 9, 10 man on a panel on a podcast, bro. And that episode is like 52 minutes long. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, man, I can maybe try to give you all an hour or something going on some shit. What we're gonna start with? Russel Brand. This Russel Brand shit. It's interesting, isn't it? So for anyone who may not be aware, and I'll just preface it by saying this, I don't give a fuck about any of this shit, innit? Like, I don't care about none of this shit, none of this news cycle bullshit. It's just all the same shit. Do you get me? So I haven't gone in and done no research on it. I haven't gone in and like checked the facts or anything like that. It's just, you see some shit and you talk about some shit. Like, we live in the headline era, I guess. So yeah, there's stories, allegations, I guess, that have come out about Russel Brand, the comedian, the talk show host. He's been in movies. You know Russel Brand, man, the UK guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, for anyone who doesn't know. He was married to Katy Perry at a point. He's the British guy that went to America and was all British and shit. Like, they loved him over there, innit? And he's spoken very candidly about his past, like, drug use, party lifestyle, just being a wild boy in it. Like, he's spoken candidly about that many times. And basically there are allegations coming out about like sexual misconduct, like, you know what I mean, sexual crimes against women and stuff like that. And again, it's one of those things where I think when any allegation like that comes out about you, it's difficult to try and have an opinion about it one way or the other because it's such a heinous thing. Because it's like, for anyone again who doesn't know, Russel Brand more recently is known for like speaking against the government and big state stuff, and like, for lack of a better term, or just to very like simplify it, he's big in the conspiracy world. Let's say that. He might not necessarily be pushing certain like conspiracies, but in that world of people and that world of content, like they love him because of the shit that he speaks about and stuff. And he's very vocal about, you know, not really fucking with like the industry, the media, again, the government. Just he's very vocal about that sort of stuff, and he's got quite a big following. And to, I guess, date the pod, obviously we're recording this 20th of September, 2023. So when you listen to it, I guess when you listen to it, but yeah, these are allegations that have come out from back in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. So these are allegations from like 20 years ago. I'm not saying that to add credence or take away credence from it. I'm just adding that for extra context. Again, I haven't done the research myself, so it's probably not the best subject to start with on the pod. But there are accounts that are allegedly very graphic in terms of like the stuff that he's alleged to have done, and that like it's very graphic accounts. Allegedly, there's a relationship he had with like a 16-year-old when he was like 30 or something like that. Again, it's one of those things where those sort of crimes are like looked at a certain way in it. Like as people, as a society, like we kind of deem sexual crimes against women or like crimes against children in any manner, like it's looked at a certain way, right? And so when stuff like this comes out, and mind you, homie ain't been to court, he ain't been charged with nothing. Like there's no legal proceedings as far as I'm aware that are like going on around this. It's just a story that's been printed. And the danger that you don't want to fall into is you don't want to become one of those people who just hear the story and react to it because that's what they want you to do. But at the same time, it's like if homeboy did this shit, put him under the jail. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one because there's no legal proceeding going on. And not that the legality is the hill that you die on, because we could talk about the legal system and all the holes in that. But what I'm saying is for the heinousness of the shit that he's been accused of, the fact that there aren't any sort of criminal or legal proceedings taking place, it's like it literally is just a story that's been printed in the press. It's not been substantiated by anything. It's not been, you know what I mean? There's no sort of credible thing behind it that's like, yeah. And again, I'm not saying that to say that homie didn't do shit, because I don't know. The one thing I say on this pod all the time, I don't know any of these niggas. I don't know any of these people, and I have no reason to defend nobody for nothing. I don't know none of them. I never met none of them. Like, I don't know these people. Do you know what I mean? But I think that it is a slippery slope if we start living in a world, and I say start, to be fair, if we allow ourselves to be in a world where we just go off the headline and just pass our judgment based on that. Do you know what I mean? And it's a weird one, man. It's a weird one, man, because how can I say this in the most like appropriate manner? How can I say this? There was a period in the early 2000s where niggas was wilding the fuck out. Hear me. There was a period, because I was alive then, and I was a kid, but I remember certain things vaguely. But you talking about like the Freaknik era, you talking about fucking like BET Uncut, you talking about Tip Drill era, like you talking about Skepta's tune all over the house, like you talking about a period of time where people were bugging the fuck out in it. And if you had a bit of like clout, notoriety, fame, a bit of money, a bit of like shit about you, like it was a mad thing in it. Like we obviously now 2023, there's a lot more awareness about different things. There's a lot more awareness about the things that women go through and different marginalized communities and shit go through. But like back then it was it was a Wild West type shit. It was, I don't want to say anything goes, like it was allowed, but what I'm saying is people felt more open to just go crazy in it. And there's a lot of like, whether tweets, whether media, whether content, whether any of these things, there's a lot of shit from back then. Like I always tell you, lot, well, not always, but I've said on the pod a lot of times, like I'm a big fan of Patrice O'Neill, and I'm a big fan of Patrice. God rest his soul, rest in peace, Patrice O'Neill. A comedian from New Jersey, big black dude, greatest comedian that's ever lived in my eyes, better than Richard Pryor, better than Carson, better than Eddie Murphy, any comedian better than Dave Chappelle, better than Chris Rock, like anybody. To me, my personal opinion, he's the greatest comedian of all time. But he died. When did Patrice die? Let me check that quickly. Because I want to say it was like early 2010s. Patrice died. 2011, yeah, early 2010s. So he died November 2011, right? And he was essentially most active between like that kind of 90s to 2000s to the 10s sort of shit. Like he was active around that period. And again, there's a lot of his content and the content that he's involved with where if you listen to it now, it's like, oh shit, like you can't say this stuff now. But at the time, you could say this shit. And I do feel like there's a lot of things that when we look back at, again, you look at like the Me Too movement and stuff like that. Like, and although, you know what I mean, there's a lot of mad things going on with that. And even the way the girl them handled it was a mad thing. But you even look at something like the Me Too movement, it was to sort of say like, yo, for years, we've been dealing with this kind of behavior. Do you know what I mean? And like, enough is enough type shit. You look at like the Black Lives Matter shit and how that was handled was a mad thing. But the premise was like, yo, for years, we've been dealing with this type of behavior and this type of shit. Enough is enough. Like, that's the premise of the shit, right? And it's, again, it's not to say that there weren't things going on there that should be punished now, because I think there definitely were. I think there's a lot of fuck shit going on, a lot of like people doing things they shouldn't do, let's just say. But in the same breath, I feel like there was a lot of shit that was done then that was acceptable for the time. Meaning, what do I mean? In the Victorian era and the industrial era and shit like that in the UK, there was a time where it was socially acceptable for children to work in factories. That was a social thing that everybody accepted, and it was normal and it was fine. And you send your kid of like 6 years old to go and fucking work in the factory, and your kid might come home and fucking lost their arm in the factory vent machine bullshit or whatever, like whatever the fuck it is, bro. Like they in there with adults working, like it was a normal thing. It wasn't like, oh my God, you're sending your kid to work. That's child abuse. Like it was socially accepted that everybody, bro, there's me, the husband, and 7 kids in it. All you 7 niggas, go get some money in it because we need as much shit as we can get, bro. So go out there and get some shit. It was socially acceptable. We look at that now and we can look back and be like, rah, that wasn't right. Kids at that age should have been exposed to that sort of shit. And I agree with that. But it doesn't take away from the fact that at the time, it was socially acceptable. Do you know what I mean? At the time, it was an all right thing to do. And back to the Russel Brand thing quickly. Again, I can't say homie did certain shit or he didn't do certain shit. I was not there in any rooms with any of these people. I don't know these niggas in it. But what I can say is like, I think a lot of things that would be considered as harassment today, in 2023, back in that time, may not have been considered in the same way. That doesn't make it right. I'm just saying that it's worth us acknowledging that. Do you get what I mean? It's worth us acknowledging that the world was in a different place at that time. The world was in a completely different place and people thought in a different way. And it's like, yeah, you don't ever want to be gripped by the headline and you base your whole opinion around that. Do you know what I mean? So I'll be honest, I was going to say that I'll keep updated, but I'll be honest with you, I'll only be as updated as the notifications to my phone keep me in terms of this shit, because I don't go looking for none of this nasty shit. Like, I don't care in it. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of this nasty shit. So yeah, we'll see, I guess. We'll see. Shit. On from there, what am I going to talk about? Speaking of nasty shit, great segue. Hold on a sec. Hold on a minute. I just want the whole music back in it, so I need. Da, 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 da. Right. Speaking of nasty shit, I know there are people like in America and different places that listen to this show, but in the UK, I don't know if they'll have the same thing over stateside or anywhere else. But in the UK, there's a television show. It's like a semi-scripted reality show from the seams of it. It's called Married at First Sight. Bro. This shit here, fam. Before the pod, I was watching this shit. My girl fucking, she loved watching this shit. It's utter bullshit, right? And we ended up having like a fight before I even started the pod. It wasn't to do with the show, don't worry. But we're watching this show, right? And the premise of the show is basically, say there are like 6 people, 8 people, 10 people, whatever. 5 girls, 5 guys, or like 5 counterparts to one another, because they've started bringing in like people from different communities, the whole like the LGBTQ community, and like they've started introducing that shit as well. So like 5 counterparts for 5 counterparts, yeah. These people don't know each other, they've never met. They basically sign up for this show, and the premise of the show is that they go on there and they get married to a stranger, because each of the people are all like, oh, I want to get married and I can't find love and da-da-da-da-da. So they kind of frame the show like it's a social experiment. That's how they frame it. It's like, say when the people are going to, because a part of the show is that the people got to go and tell their parents and family and friends and loved ones that they married a stranger. And a lot of the time, the way they'll explain it is like, I signed up to take part in this experiment and da-da-da-da-da. So they kind of have this very vague thing that is a social experiment, but really it's a reality show. Really, like, you tune in for the drama and the fuck shit in it. And that's exactly what you would get if you get a bunch of strangers that clearly all have their own issues, and then you get them married and force them to like live with one another shit. So 5 counterparts of one another, yeah. They basically meet on their quote unquote wedding day. And again, it's a fucking TV show. I don't think they're married in real life, but the premise is that they're married in it. You see this person for the first time on the wedding. You get married, and then you go on the honeymoon, and that's basically when you fucking get to know this person. So it's kind of like Blind Date. If you remember that. See, I'm aging myself now. If anyone remembers Blind Date with Cilla Black, and rest in peace Cilla Black as well. But the show is basically Blind Date, but the marriage version. So instead of just going on a date with somebody you don't know, you've never seen, you're married to them. And then you see them for the first time as you're about to say, I do. Broski. Broski. It's like every couple, yeah. The first time they'll see each other, and more time the guys them will be like, oh yeah, she's paid for, yeah, she's right, oh yeah, and the girls might be like, oh my god, he's not tall enough, or he's not from fucking Buckingham Palace, or oh my god, he's not rich, or like bullshit in it. And they basically go on these honeymoons, they go and like link each other and shit. And brother, it's almost a guaranteed success for drama. If you're a TV producer, right, and you're just looking at, yo, how can we just get fuck shit and drama on the screen? Let's get these people who will be willing to sign up for this. Because mind you, the people who will be willing to sign up for a show like this clearly aren't the most stable people in life, innit? Like, no person with a stable foundation and direction in life is going to sign up for a fucking Channel 4 show where you just marry a complete stranger that quote-unquote experts put you together with. Mind you, the experts here, there's this bald black dude who I don't want to diss them, innit? I don't want to diss them and shit. But you got these people and they've been on the show since it started. So maybe this thing is like a few seasons deep. They've had like a few years of doing the same shit. And over here, you just see like these quote unquote experts just age. So there's like this black nigga who you can't really tell if he's gay or not. Like, you can't tell if he's gay because just when you think he's gay, he'll do something mad straight, quote unquote. And just when you think he's straight, he'll do something mad gay, quote unquote. And then there's like this white lady who's like an older white lady, but you can see that she's trying to like hold on to it, but she's not trying to look young. She's just trying to look like a piff older lady. But bless her, she got wrinkles on her chest and shit. Like, she looked tired, didn't it? She looked tired. And then you got this other black lady who, I'm not going to diss the black woman. Fuck that. I'm not going to diss the black. You're not going to get me to do that on the airwaves. Fuck that. There's a black woman on the show as well. But basically, they're like the quote unquote experts who pair these people together with it. And there's a part of the show, a part of the episode where you like sort of see the couples that we pair together. It introduces you to each one and their sort of family and their walk of life and da-da-da-da. And whenever it pans to the experts and they talk about why they paired them together, they always say like the same shit. It's like, oh, well, they're both really compassionate people and they're both looking for love. So, you know, I really think they'll complement each other and they'll help bring out the best parts of each. Like, they say the same thing for each person when they give them the justification as to why they matched them up. And as you can guess, obviously, it's like there'll be, say there's 10 people, 5 people for each counterpart. 3 of each of the 5 will be like white heterosexual people. And then 1 out of each of the 5 will be like black. And the other 1 out of the 5 will be like gay or trans or pan or non-binary or, you know what I mean, something to that persuasion. And it's like, they won't just tell the truth and be like, yeah, we put the black couple together and we put the gay couple together and she's blonde and he's blonde, so we put them together. Like, they won't just tell you the truth. They try and make it this whole thing. But really, it's just, we put the black people together, we put the this together, we put that, the. And again, the show goes on and it's just chaos. It's just madness. It's fucking, after the first day, like, all right, there was one year where the person who was the quote unquote woman, and I don't even know how to discuss these things in it. So let me just say, I'm not trying to be offensive. Like, I'm trying to be as unoffensive as I can be. I'm trying to be as like PC as I can be right now. I ain't got will to put the back treatment back and go crazy. So I'm trying to be cool in it. But the person who's essentially the woman archetype in the marriage is like a trans person in it. So it's a person who was born biologically a boy and then transitioned into a girl and then a woman. So that's one person. And then the other dude is like again, I don't know all the terms, man, I'll be honest with you. It might be ignorance in it. I don't know all the terms, but he's basically, his thing is like, he's just attracted to people, whether male, female, trans, this, that, whatever it may be. Like, his thing is like, he's attracted to people and their energy, and like, it don't really matter kind of the other stuff. He's attracted to the person type shit. So obviously they've paired them two together in it. Brother. So from the first time, obviously, me at the wedding and shit, the trans woman is going crazy, like, he's sexy as shit. Yeah, fuck that. Oh, he's so piff. Oh my god. Da, 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 da. And I get this trans person, and I said this to my girl, I was watching it. Like, again, not trying to be offensive and nothing like that, but through like social media, different sort of memes and shit, like, I'm not like in those communities, so I don't really like see, and I don't actively like look for that stuff because it's just not part of my shit. But like, just through different social things, you'll see things push through algorithms and that, and you see, trans people or this and that, and a lot of the times, like, I can always tell in it, like, my girl will be looking, like, she'll scroll because she follows all them, the makeup artists and shit, whatever, and it's like, I'm like, that's. I can't say what I actually say on the air because that might be offensive. But I'm like, yo, that's like a trans person, isn't it? And she's like, yeah. And I was saying to her, this person on the show, it's like, you know what? I'll give credit. Usually I can tell, like, not in that sort of fucked up way, but as a nigga who like gal and like woman, like, see, even how I just talk, it sounds offensive, in it. And I don't even mean it in an offensive way. But like, I can tell a woman that was born a woman. Do you know what I mean? You can just look at them and tell them, and you can feel their energy and smell their pheromones and shit. And it's like someone who wasn't born a woman, I can usually tell. You can I can just kind of look and you can kind of see it a bit. And I was saying to my girl with this person on the show, it's like, you know what? This is like the first trans person who don't, like, you can see it, but the person more so just looks like your typical Geordie Shore, like, lip injections, fake boobs, fake tan, big fake eyelashes. Like, the person more so just looks like that sort of archetype than someone who you'd be like, oh, they weren't biologically born this, or, do you know what I mean? Anyway, this person and the person who is just attracted to people and their spirit and shit, they go on their honeymoon and that. And the trans woman is basically, they're trying to get active in it. Like, they're trying to get active. They're on some like, yo, bro, like, let's get on some smoke shit, fam. Like, yo, come blow the back out. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like, even when the trans person explained to this other person that they were trans, they were like, yo, listen, everything below this dress is all man, fam. You know what I mean? I got all the shit done, like, you know what I mean? It's just, I'll let you know that man was born. So the whole honeymoon, the trans woman, she tried to get active, bro. Active, like, she was smoking it, and this other person is on some like, nah, I don't even know you, like, I need to get to know you to be attracted to you, shit, like, I want to get to know you. And they basically end up having like a beef and that in it. And the guy's like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, you keep coming on to me and you want to fuck me and you want to sleep with me and shit. But like, I just want to get to know you and shit first. Like I told you, I'm attracted to people. I'm not just attracted to like the physical form and da-da-da-da-da. And the trans woman just basically is not trying to hear none of that shit in it. It's like, yo, like, you acting like you're not even into, I was going to say into, man, but you can't even say that, bro. You can't even say that. But the trans woman was basically like, yo, you acting like you're not even into me, like you're not even attracted to me, like you don't try to be like intimate or nothing, da, 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 da. And I was explaining to my girl, yeah, I was like, see, they've got people on this show who don't like know themselves enough to be able to communicate honestly. Because the real thing was like the trans woman, and anytime this person would speak about like their past and growing up, they would immediately burst into tears. But the way that this person cried, it was like a panic attack cry. It wasn't like oh, she's so sad, give her a hug. Like, it wasn't like that type of cry. It was like oh shit, is she gonna pass out, bro? Like, is she gonna freak out, bro? Like, it was like a panic attack type of cry. And the person said, obviously, they've always had this insecurity and and all this sort of shit. And I was saying to my girl, it's like, it's clear that this person clearly has an insecurity about being accepted as a woman in it. Like, this person clearly feels fucked up about that. And even in the introductions, when they were first introducing him and shit, the trans woman was like, yo, there's been a couple people who have linked and that. And then when I tell them I'm like trans, they like, yeah, we can still beat and shit, but we're going to do it on the low. And her whole thing was like, I don't want to be anybody's dirty secret. I want somebody to fucking be proud to be with me and all this sort of shit, innit? So I was saying to my girls, all right, it's clear that this person clearly has an insecurity about being accepted openly as a woman by like a partner in it. Like, it's either some nasty nigga know that they was born a boy, but just gonna fuck him on the side, but don't tell nobody because it's weird. Or somebody's gonna be like, nah, fuck that, bro. Like, you're not a gal type shit. And so this person is craving the validation of an external partner to validate that they're a woman type shit. So this person, obviously, they trying to get active because gal have this belief that man will fuck anything. And I understand why gal believe that, because a lot of man will fuck anything. There was a point in time where I might have fucked anything, bro. But it's a sort of thing of like, if I'm a girl, not me, Drizz, but this is how like a lot of gal think. But as a gal, if I'm throwing pussy at a nigga and he don't want it, either he's fucked up or it means that I'm ugly and I'm not attractive and I'm this and da 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 da. So for this person, it's like, yo, men want to fuck and men want this and men want that. So if I'm trying to throw, can you say pussy, fam? Because it's a deeper conversation, but a part of me does kind of feel like trans women wanting to be called women is disrespectful to women, in the same way that a white person who identified as a black person wanting to be called black, that could be disrespectful to black people. It's like, I do feel like the fact that with some, not all, it's not all, they're not a monolith, but there are some trans people who are like, nah, I'm a woman. I'm a woman as much as a woman is a woman. And I don't agree with that, just because it's different. Like, it's not a hatred thing, it's just, it's different, innit? But like, yeah, it's just the thing of fucking, this person clearly wants to be validated as a woman, and the fact that you're not trying to hit is hitting at that insecurity where that person really in their mind is like, oh fuck, I'm not a woman. That's what it really is, you know what I mean? Like, when you dig down to it, it's like, oh shit, I'm not really a woman because he doesn't want to fuck me. Because if I was a woman, he'd want to fuck me. But he doesn't, so I'm not. And it's like, like, honestly, yeah, if you like junk TV, and again, I really don't even like watching this shit. It was one of those ones, man was working from home. This might have been like 2 years ago. And, you know, there's just like daytime TV that comes on and shit. And I'm the type of person, like, I'll have a TV on in the background and I won't even really watch it. Like, more time now, I'd ever put the TV on because I don't watch it. But before, I'd put the TV on, just be in the background, whatever. Doing fucking working from home, daytime shit. And they had like reruns of this fucking Married at First Sight show. And again, I would just sort of see it in passing, just like every so often you just look up and you just hear someone say some shit. But yo, they wilding on this show. And I remember I didn't get into it, but it was kind of just like oh shit, while I'm here today, if it's on, I'm going to fucking just keep up with it as much as I can keep up with it. It wasn't like a purposeful put it on. It's just like every day I'll put the channel on the same channel and just put it on the background, like E4 type shit. And it would come on, and I remember I told my girl about it one time. I was like, yo, there's this show, yeah, where people like get married at first sight and fucking they wilding on there, bro. They going crazy on there. And from there, she's just fucking like, oh, let's watch it, type shit. But it's like, it's not a good show. Like, it's not a good show for the thinking mind. Like, it's not. It's bullshit TV, innit? It's bullshit TV, but people like bullshit TV. So if you like shit like that, watch Married at First Sight. Again, here in the UK, they show like a Married at First Sight Australia, Married at First Sight. It's like, is it New York or something like that? Like different places in it, but I don't know if the Australia version would actually air in Australia. That might just be like a UK thing that they show us here. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but yeah, it's it's a complete shit show, innit? It's a complete shit show, fam. Like, it's a complete shit show. Fucking hell, what else was I gonna talk about? I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I was honestly hoping by this point somebody would have jumped on the pod and just, you know what I mean, dropped a voice note and give me something to kind of chat on about. Again, I wasn't even going to do nothing this week because my guy is still unwell. And like, the pod's much better when we do it together and shit. But I didn't want to miss another week, and I didn't notify anybody to say why we didn't do last week. We just kind of didn't do it type shit. So I didn't want to miss another week. I wanted to just come, bless up the people, them little bit. Shit, man. I think I might be done. Fucking hell. In the renegotiations, I gotta give Will the big payoff for it. Bro, I ain't been here an hour yet, fam. But I was 36 minutes, bro. Like, I got... Because you know what it is? When Will had time off the pod, like, months back and shit, it was kind of like, I have to do this to keep the shit going. So I would just do it, chat whatever shit, and just find a way to keep the shit going. Do you know what I mean? Because the way it is like right now, it's not like man have to do it because he's not in a position to. It's more so like he's not feeling well. And I didn't really have to do that this week. But man, they want to just leave them bare and leave them empty and So man thought, when I jump on here and do this, do you know what I mean? To be honest with you, I don't even know how I'm going to call this shit episode 130. Because I feel like it's too short to call it an episode, innit? Like, I feel like... But then I could do, because fuck it. But, I don't know. Let's see if there's anything else to talk about. Let's go to Twitter, or X, as it's called now. Fucking X. Oh shit. One thing I will talk about, actually, is, on a serious note, and I feel like I've not really been, like, too jokey or nothing on this one, but, a young girl was killed in Croydon, over the last week or so, by some dude, a knife. Again, I don't know the story incredibly. I haven't gone away and researched it. Like, I don't really like keeping shit like that in my energy, man. Like, honestly, bro. But this shit comes across your path in it. But yeah, essentially, it was either like some sort of like ex or something. But the girl was 15, the dude was 17, and he's tried to give her some flowers or something, and she wasn't interested. And he just pulled out a zombie knife and like stabbed her in the neck or some shit. Stabbed her to death, bro. Like, it's fucking mad, man. And you know what's really jarring is on these social platforms. So like, again, on Twitter or X, you know, people tweeting about this shit and talking about it, and it just becomes like gender war shit. Like, it's not really about the shit that it's about. Like, people tweeting about it, it's like they're using this little girl's death to get their gender war shit off. Like, I think that's fucked up. Do you get what I mean? It's like a little girl actually died, but somebody will tweet that in terms of like, a little girl actually died. See, it's time that men start listening. And it's like, there's a term called sophistry, and in essence, it's senseless sense in it. So it's something that makes sense, but it doesn't actually make sense to what the fuck is actually going on. Like, it logically makes sense and it's cohesive and like it makes sense as a thing, but in regards to what's actually going on, it has nothing to do with nothing in it. And I feel like there's a lot of sophistry on X. There's a lot of like people using valid talking points and valid shit to just get their own shit off. The equivalent is like, the equivalent would be like an artist that's releasing a new song taking this story and be like, oh, it's so fucked up that this little girl was murdered and we need to do better as a people. And on my new single, I talk about this, so make sure you go listen to it. It's like, that's what a lot of people's tweets feel like. It feels like I'm taking this subject and I'm finding a way to route you towards my shit through this subject. And it's just like, again, there was someone who was tweeting some shit, bro. I'm a nigga. Like, there was someone who tweeted some shit, dog, and he started talking about, like, men from Leeds, and it's like, yo, like, who the fuck is this nigga, bro, to say men from, like, and it almost triggered me, bro. I writ something out to this nigga, but I said, you know what, fam, that's what this bullshit wants, in it. Like, it's trying to trigger you into these sort of negative interactions. It's like, you know what, fuck that, in it. Like, just allow it. It doesn't even matter. It's just a person on Twitter that you'll never meet, you'll never speak to, will never come to your show. Like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But it's just, yeah, it's fucked, man. It's fucked, man. Like, and I saw a video that was going around of the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate. I think his brother's called Tristan, something like that. And again, he's another one who I have done very minimal research on. Like, I've gone and looked at a few things and stuff, but I'm not really up on his shit. I kind of just know the main talking points and whatever. And I know that he had a lot of rhetoric about how guys should be and how girls should be. And then he had the whole shit where he got arrested and then he got really, like, yeah, cool. But they put a video out, and the one that I saw, again, it was just like a clip on Twitter, or X, sorry. And it was like, Andrew didn't really talk in it. It was the brother Tristan. He was just basically saying, like, yo, this shit in Croydon is a fucking disgrace. And they say that me and my brother are toxic, and, you know what I mean, we're the reason why for all this fucked up shit's happening to women. But, like, if people listen to all shit like this, would never happen. Like, we would never condone no shit like this. We would never stand by no shit like this. Like, no real man does no shit like this. Do you get what I mean? And that's what I've found a lot with, like, the Andrew Tate guy. Like, again, I live in my own world, in it. Like, you know how Lil Wayne lives in his own world, and, like, in interviews, he don't know who the new rappers are, or he thought 21 Savage was a group, and, like, he just don't know. That's what I'm like. Like, I live in my own world, in my own bubble and shit. Like, I don't really pay attention to a lot of the shit that I don't want to pay attention to. But a lot of the clips I've seen of, like, the Andrew Tate guy, whatever, like, the shit they said in the clip in an isolated context, it's like, I can hear what man is saying. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, yeah, this whole shit's upside down, bro. Like, bro, God must be looking at this shit like, yo, flush this down the toilet, bro. That's why global warming is going crazy in it. Like, because God's like, yo, flush this shit down the toilet, fam. Like, we gonna drive out to the river, fam, and just dash this shit in the river, bro. Like, fuck this whole shit in it. Like, yeah, it's a crazy world, man. It's a crazy world, and I think that's why more so I just choose to just exist in my own realm and in my own shit. Do you know what I mean? That's why I just choose to just do my own thing, because it's just so much fucking negativity, bro. And don't get it fucked up. I'm not trying to sound like some perfect guy, and, you know, I paint old people's houses at the weekend, and I walk people's dogs, and, like, no, like, man are into the shit, man are, you know what I mean? Cool, but it's just on, like, a heart vibe, on, like, the person you are vibe. Like, man are good energy in it. Like, man are, when the energy is good, the energy is good. Do you get what I mean? And if the energy has to be different for certain circumstances, it has to be that. But man are good. Do you get what I mean? And it's just a lot of fuck shit in the world, man. A lot of fuck shit in the world. Do you get what I mean? That's why you just got to try and big up your thing, big up your people, you know what I mean, and just live the right path. Even like this pod, man, it's like, you know how many times, bro, even like when I'm podding with Will and shit, like, how many times I'm just like, yo, I fucking can't be bothered, man. And not can't be bothered just on some lazy shit, but it's like, man do so much shit, bro. It's like, fucking hell. And now I'm about to give 4+ hours of my time to something else that actually I could just rest for that time. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, you have to try and invest in the things that matter to you. Which is, again, back to my original point, why I wanted to throw up some points on the board this week. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted to just get something down, man, because some of y'all fuck with the shit. I have noticed, and like I said at the beginning, when we come to the negotiations, Will's gonna have to get a good piece of the pie. Because I definitely found that when man do the solo pods, at least on the stereo app, the amount of engagement compared to like when Will's on the shit, it's not even comparable. Like when Will's here, he gets jumping in it. So, nah, big up to my guy, Secret Life. You know what I mean? Hopefully he'll feel better real soon. But yeah, shit, man. There's not even that much more stuff I want to talk about, to be honest with you. Like I said, for the umpteenth time, I just wanted to touch base with the people that listen faithfully every week. You know what I mean? The people that go to the YouTube and listen back to the episodes. I appreciate you. I know Will appreciates it. We all just really appreciate y'all taking the time to fuck with us, man. So I wanted to give you all a little something. You know what I mean? A little something. Well, hopefully by this time next week, my guy Will is going to be feeling better. Hopefully we can get back into the shit, get back to talking our shit, get back to arguing and talking over each other and nah, let me land and all that good stuff in it, all that good stuff. Do you get what I mean? To be fair, I'll probably even give him a call tomorrow, see how he's doing. But now, in the meantime, again, make sure that if you're listening on the stereo app, follow myself. That's, what's my shit called? Hold on, what's my shit on here? Yeah, Drizz OnlyMans podcast. Make sure you follow me on the stereo app. Follow Will as well. I believe his tag is slow1524. So make sure you follow him on the stereo app as well. If you're listening on YouTube and you haven't already, hit subscribe, man. You gotta subscribe to the YouTube page. All the shit goes on there. You can listen to all the past weeks of us going crazy and shit. Yeah, man, like some really good eps in there. Also like the videos as well. That's one thing I haven't been telling people to do. Like the videos. Like, that helps a lot. Like the videos, subscribe, you know what I mean? Like, share the video, share the links, like all that type shit. As we've said from pretty much day one on the pod, day one of the actual pod, and day one of the blackification of the podcast. Like, this thing really has been growing up vibes in it. Like, I definitely wouldn't recommend it as a marketing plan if you're trying to get like profitable and shit. But this thing is definitely been growing up vibes. We don't promote this shit outside of the shit. You don't see man trying to get people to listen to it. Yo, my mum's called me today in it, and she knows I record a podcast and shit. And she was like, "Oh, like, where can I listen to your podcast? Like, where can I listen to it?" And I was like, "Ma." I was like, Ma, trust me. Ma, I love you. You know I love you in it. Look at Ma. You know I love you in it. Ma, trust me. You don't want to listen to my podcast. I was like, Ma, trust me. You don't want to listen to my podcast in it. I was like, oh, what? Like a lot of swearing and stuff. And almost funny, yeah. Almost funny because she likes murder mystery shows. Like, she'll watch that back to back to back, like day in, day out, like murder mystery shows, documentaries about like a murder or like cold cases. Like, that's her shit in it. Like, she fuck with that shit. And she'll watch that, fucking eat food, go sleep, no problem, no like scary nightmares or make a parrot. Like, she'll watch that for entertainment, for fun. That's on in the background type shit. And she'll watch movies, and they'll be cussing and swearing and shit in the movies. And it makes her a bit uncomfortable, but she's alright with it because it's a movie, innit? But she does not like me cussing and swearing and going crazy and shit. And like, because my mum knows just sort of like the life I live, again, we do the music and we do all this sort of shit and da. So she knows how I'm being, and she knows how the capacity to do all of that, but she don't like it. Because her thing is always like, yo, you speak so well and you're so eloquent with your words and you have such a great command of vocabulary. Like, I hate hearing you swear because it's like you're dumbing yourself down. It's like you're just doing the typical thing when you're so much better than that. And I'd be like to her, Ma, like, yeah, man, do have a wicked command of vocabulary, and I can, be elaborate and eloquate myself. Eloquate? Is that the right word? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to stick with it. Fuck it. But it's like sometimes saying fuck just drives the point home more than all of these fancy words do. Sometimes just going like, yo, fucking hell is so much better than describing the anguish that I feel about the testimony that you've just given. Like swearing, yeah, it might be easier, but it's easier. So you do it. Do you know what I mean? But now I was saying, so like you don't want to listen to my pod, trust me, because we be on here talking about bitches and fucking hoes and linking gal and fucking drinking too much and like all sorts of shit in it. And I was trying to explain to my girl, I was saying like, yo, if my mum's could muscle past all of that stuff, she might actually enjoy the conversation, because we do get on here and have like some very deep, introspective like talks about stuff. But I think it would be way too much to try and ask her to muscle through. Like, I think it would be way too much in it. So I was like, yeah, Ma, just allow it in it. just allow it in it. Just allow it in it. Oh, gosh. I tell you what, man, Man, we're at 52? Yeah, bro. Like, I wanna reach an hour in it. I want to reach an hour. It's been a minute since I've done a solo pod. And I think maybe I'm getting a bit used to having my guy there that I can pass the ball to and run off the ball, and you know what I mean? So I think probably if I had better prepared, because even leading up to doing the pod, originally I was going to start at 9 and I pushed it back to 9:30, and I was actually going to push it back to 20 to 10, but it wouldn't let me do it because it was too close to 9:30 at the point. But it's like I was in two minds of whether I was even going to do the pod today or not. I was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I? You know what I mean? So I didn't really prepare that well, which is my bad. So if you've not enjoyed this episode, it's my bad, innit? That's on me. But yeah, I think if I've got to run another solo one, what I'm probably going to do is definitely try and firstly confirm that I'm running a solo pod, because again, even with Will being Will being unwell, that's what put me up. I was going to say Will being unwell, but my brain was like, no, that's not right. There's something not right there. So even with Will being unwell, like I've spoken to him in the week, again, he is feeling better than he was feeling, but he's still feeling a bit like, he said that basically he had lost both his ears completely blocked. He was like, bro, like I couldn't hear nothing, fam. Like I tried to put headphones on and listen to some shit and my ears were just ringing. Like my ears were just completely blocked, completely closed up. Head, like I said, his head just felt so full of pressure. He felt like fucked up in it. He couldn't go work, couldn't do nothing. Obviously spoke to him a few days after that. He was basically saying like the one side is like started to ease up a bit. So like when he's listening to music or doing shit, he'll do it on the one side, but the other one is still just completely blocked. Like it's can't do nothing with it. And that's what he was saying the last time I spoke to him, and that was like 2 days ago. Was that 2 days ago? So yeah, hopefully I'm gonna try holler him tomorrow. I'm gonna try and holler him tomorrow. See how he's doing. Hopefully he'll be feeling better. Hopefully we can start to should run it back from next week. And yeah, man. But now, big up to all the people. If you made it this far, big up to you. You know what I mean? I go cook, bro. We're gonna kill these 5 minutes, bro. We're gonna find a way, bro, to put something in these 5 minutes, fam. I don't give a fuck, bro. I want to make it to an hour. Like, you know me, bro. When I'm determined to do something, Push come to shove, bro. I'll just start spitting my whole album until the fucking time is. Oh my gosh. If I knew moving forward, like, all right, the next 4 pods, you have to do it by yourself, I would definitely come on this pod and have like a very in-depth conversation about pornography. Like, I have so many interesting takes about it. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, that is something, if I come prepped and ready and shit, I could probably go for like 2.5, 3 hours, pause. Like, I could talk about it for a while, innit? But that's one of those ones where man don't want to do the porno pod, and then Will's on it next week. It's like, oh yeah, we talk about porno, because it's like a bit like, wait, what? I would have to know that man have like a stretch of episodes to do that, because I would break shit down on like a different level. But you can understand so much about life through pornography. That sounds fucked up. I know. But you can learn so much about life through pornography. And like I would, yeah. So maybe one day in it, it's just, how can I say it? Like, I'm the porno connoisseur in it. Do you get what I mean? And my guy Will, he's not so much a connoisseur of it, I don't think. He probably watched it, seen whatever they did, but he's not like, you know how there are people who just drink to get drunk, and then there's the people who are the wine connoisseurs, they go wine tasting and da-da-da-da. That's what I am to porno. It's like some people just watch porn to just, but like, that was a bad sound. But like, I'm a connoisseur of that shit. Like, I appreciate the fine things. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel as though this is the most weird description to some shit. If you don't get it, like, if you don't get what I'm saying, it's just like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? Like, is he talking about this right now? But it's like, yeah, if there's ever a run of pods where man gotta do the shit, like say Will might go abroad, a certain man gotta do the shit, we'll definitely have a discussion, man. We'll definitely have a discussion. But no, again, thank you to all the people that tune in each and every week. Thank you to all the people that subscribe to the YouTube page. Again, I do see the subscribers going up. Big up to y'all. You know what I mean? Couple of you niggas leaving comments and that. You know what I mean? We see you, appreciate you. Like I said, man, make sure you like them videos. And yeah, comment that shit up, man. If we talking some shit on the videos, even if you want to troll the shit, like engage with that shit, man. Talk that shit up. You know what I mean? Comment up. We'll respond in it. If the comments are good, we'll respond. There's a few comments we've seen on there, but it's like the comment won't make sense type shit. And you don't just want to respond on some big shit. You know how like brands respond in their comments. And they'll be like, thank you so much for your comment. That's really great. Like, we don't want to respond on some dead shit. It's like, say something funny and witty in there, and man will definitely like respond, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, man is still trying to figure out how to really engage the socials shit. Just because both myself and Will, we not really social media people. Like, I'll be lying if I said I was like the wickedest social media. Like, it's just not really my thing, especially what social media has become now. Maybe like earlier social media, but especially what it's become now. Like, I don't give a fuck in it. Like, I don't care enough. And man, I want to definitely find a way to try and really intermingle this shit into those stratospheres. Because I think, as it's been proven just by using the stereo app, I think there's people who will fuck with this shit and who will rock with it, but we have to find a way to get them to hear it in it. So, yeah, man, again, if you got any suggestions and shit, you know what I mean? Oh my god. Man, asking the audience for suggestions in it. That's where you know the magician has run out of tricks. That's where you know like the whole evening has gone belly up, and it's like, alright, bro, anybody here got like a £5 note? Like, I got one trick left, bro. Like, anybody here got a £5 note? All right, £20 note. Nothing. And everyone's like, bro, nah, fam. We all got card, fam. We ain't got none of that shit. Nah, it's cool. People, listen. This has been episode 113 of the OnlyMans podcast, yeah? We go to all the people that listen on the stereo app. Although I see none of y'all today. Damn. Y'all shame me like that because Will ain't here. Damn, son. No Idris. Okay, that's fine. We go to all the people that listen on YouTube as well. We appreciate you. We fuck with you a lot, man. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, all the typical shit that I've been saying. over and over again in the pod to try and fill the time. And yeah, man, fuck with us. Hopefully, again, like I said, Will be back next week. And we'll be able to continue the vibes and just keep this shit pushing, man. But until then, we'll play this music and get the fuck out of here.
Drizz OnlyMans podcast. OnlyMans podcast. Man, this shit for real. Man, this shit for real. OnlyMans podcast. Man, this shit for real. Man, this shit for real. OnlyMans podcast. Talking about some mad shit. Ain't nobody playing around. These niggas like really nasty. Damn, man, my diamonds be dancing. Talking about investments, romance, man shit, yeah, man shit, yeah. None of that he say bullshit. Whoa, man shit, yeah, man shit, yeah. Hey, real man in the man,
Episode 113 of the OnlyMans podcast, yeah? Until we speak again, peace, love, blessings, all of that. Peace.